Hi everyone, Krishna this side and I welcome you all to this channel. So let's solve this lead code question 1733, minimum number of people to teach. Okay, let me read the problem statement. On a social network consisting of m users and some friendships between users, two users can communicate with each other if they know a common language. You are given an integer n and array languages and also another array friendships where there are n languages numbered from 1 through n. The languages of I is a set of languages ith user knows. And friendships of I is equals to UI and VI denotes friendship between the users UI and VI. You can choose one language and teach it some users so that all friends can communicate with each other, and we have to return minimum number of users need to teach. Okay, I guess question is pretty much clear. Here there is another note. Note that friendships are not transitive, meaning if X is a friend of Y is friend of Z, then this doesn't guarantee that X is friend of Z. Okay, I guess question is clear, but if we look into these examples as well, let us see. The first example here, n is basically 2. That means there are two languages. Okay, these languages of I basically denotes first person knows one language, second person knows second language, third person knows one and two languages. Okay, that is something what it basically denotes. And friendship basically denotes there is a friendship between one and two. That is like first and second users are friends, first and third users are friends, second and third users are friends. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to figure out if they are friends and they don't know any common language, we have to teach one person a common language. Okay, so we have to figure out minimum users need to teach a language such that all of the friendships that are available, right, these friends are available, they can speak with each other. So here if we teach user one, okay, user one second language or user two first language, we can make sure that these all users friends that are there, right, they can communicate with each other. So output is something what we have to return one. Okay, I guess this is clear, but still I'll explain you with the proper example on the screen. And if we look into the constraints here, the n value is basically it goes all the way to 500. Here m is also going all the way to 500. That means it is pretty much clear that we can write solution in brute force way as well. That is completely fine. Even if we write in n cube solution, that also works perfectly fine. Okay, but still we'll try to improve the solution and we'll try to write a better solution. Okay, let me connect the screen. I'll explain you what we have to do and then I'll write down the code as well. Okay. Okay. I hope the screen is visible. So here we have three languages. Okay. N basically denotes how many languages we have. Correct. And now this languages basically denotes that the first person knows second language. Second person knows second and third language. Third person knows first and second language. Fourth person knows third language. Okay. This is something what we have given in form of arrays. Okay. These are the languages. Okay. That is something what I have written there. Now there is a friendship area as well. So in this friendship area, first and fourth are the friends, first and second are friends, third and fourth are friends, second and third are friends. Okay, now the idea is pretty much clear. So if we have these two friends, right, so what we can do is we will check what are all languages this first person knows. We will check what are all languages this fourth person knows. So here first person knows second language, fourth person knows third language. We can basically go through them. We can get these languages from this languages array, whatever the friends that we have, right? So first person this basically knows second language, fourth person knows this third language. So we can iterate through them. Okay, we can iterate through this languages array and we can get these languages. And what we can do is we can check if there is any common language between them. Okay, if there is any common language between them. If there is no common language between them, it is clear that these friends that are there, they should know a language. Okay, they should know common language so that they can communicate. So we have to either teach first person or fourth person, but we are not clear which language we have to teach them, right? So what we can do is we can basically keep them aside. Okay, these first and fourth persons need to know a language. Okay, for now, like we are just keeping them aside. Now let's go for next pair. So here first and second persons are friends. So what we can do is we will check in this one, the first person basically knows second language, second person basically knows second and third language. So here we see that they have a common language. We can basically iterate through them. Easily we can go through them, right? So which languages he knows second language, he knows second and third language. So we can check side by side if any language is common between them. Here we notice that second language is common between them. So yes, we cannot consider them here in this particular area, okay? Because they know common language. So there is no problem to consider this one in this area. Okay, we can skip these pairs. Now we will check for third and fourth person. So here third person knows first and second language, fourth knows third language. Again here we don't have a common language between this third and fourth person. What we can do is we can again consider this third and fourth person. Okay, because these persons are someone needs to be no common language, right? So we are just considering these pairs. Now next pair is like second and third. So second knows second and third language, third knows one and first and second language. Again here we don't have any common language between this second and third. Again this is something what we have to consider. So second and third persons are also we are considering. Now here we notice that this fourth person is basically common between these particular pairs. Okay, so there is high chances that going ahead there could be multiple users who are common between these pairs. So ideally if I am able to know that, let us suppose these two persons that are there, right? Like this fourth person is basically common for this first and third person. So if I able to figure out a common language which is basically highly popular among all these users, okay, a language which is basically used most of the users by most of the users, if that is something what I'm able to figure out, okay, let us suppose we have these three languages, one, two, three. So first language is basically spoken by, let us suppose, four users. Second language, I mean four users, that is something what I am figuring it out from this particular array. Okay, these pairs that we have, right? From these pairs, if first language is basically known by four people, second language is basically known by two people, third language is basically known by five people. So here if five people knows third language, it is obvious that remaining, let us suppose we have in total 10 persons, and out of 10 persons, 5 persons knows this third language, and 2 person knows this second language, 1 person, 4 person knows this first language. It is obvious that this third language is something what I'll try to teach other 5 people so that we can easily get the answer. Correct, because minimum answer is something what we are trying to figure out, right? If 5 persons, in this particular pair, if 5 person knows a common language, obviously I'll teach that particular language to other 5 peoples, so that minimum people will try to learn a particular language and we can solve it by this way. Correct. So that is something what we have to do. So here in total we have how many common here if we look right over here, in total we have first, fourth, second and third. These are the persons who basically need to know common language. Okay, four is basically getting repeated here and here, and it is quite clear that now based on this particular theory that we discussed right over here, if we teach a common language which is highly popular among them, okay, because I don't have to teach us a common language which was, let us suppose, a particular language, second language is there, right? So fourth person knows the second language, third person knows the second language, but second and first person basically don't know the language, don't know that particular language. So second language is most popular language among these peoples. So obviously only 2 person knows need to teach that second language, so that the idea is pretty much clear. So that this second language is basically already known by this fourth and third person, and we just have to teach this second language to this first and second person. So we just require two persons to know this second language, and our job is done. Let us suppose if this first language is known by first person and no other knows this first language, is it really ideal that if I teach this first language, this fourth, second and third person, if I try to teach this first language, I have to teach it to 3 people, so that the job is done. That means like all these peoples know a common language. Okay, but problem is here it is basically requiring 3 persons, but with this second language it is basically requiring only 2 persons to know that language. Okay, so idea is pretty much clear. So what we can do is all the users who are basically not knowing these languages, what we can do is we can maintain a set. In this set we will keep on dumping the users. So first and fourth person, initially we dumped them. Now third and fourth persons we are dumping, but four is basically common between them, so I don't have to put that into the set. It already saw basically maintains if there is any unique element that is there, only that element is something what we consider in set. Okay, all the duplicate elements set basically emits. Okay, now second and third is there, that is the next pair. So here I have to just put second person. So in total we have 4 people who need to know a language. Okay, and what we can do is we will again from this particular set, okay, from this particular set what we have to do is we will go through this each individual user. So first person, what are all languages first person knows? Okay, first person basically knows only second language. Okay, first person will know only second language. So we can maintain an array. In this array, like this is a language array, first, second, third. So only 3 languages we have, right? So we can maintain that array. In this first, second, third languages, what we can do is basically, let me clean this things. So first person knows first language, so here I'll just increase the frequency of that particular language. Fourth person knows third language. So here I'll increase that third language frequency. Now next is like third person. Third person knows two languages, first and second. So what I'll do is I'll increase this frequency of this first language, and also I have to increase this second language frequency, because third person knows first and second language, right? We can notice here. Now next person is basically two. So second person basically knows second and third language, correct? So second language frequency I'll increase, and third language frequency also I'll increase. Okay, now here we notice that all these languages have common frequency. That means all these languages basically appear two times. So ideally we can say that the maximum language, basically any particular language that we notice, maximum time any particular language appears is basically two times. So it is clear that out of these four users, two is the maximum language known by all the persons. Okay, let us suppose third language is there, it has frequency of three. That means three people that are there who knows this third language. So if max is basically 3 now in this particular case, so out of these four people, third language is basically most popular. So what we have to do is, from this set I'll just subtract it. That means only one person needs to know a language. 4 minus 3, if we do, we get the one's answer. So one person needs to know a language. So that is something what we have to figure out, because minimum answer is something what we are trying to figure out. And from this particular set, three people that are there who knows the third language, only one person needs to be know this third language, so we can easily figure out an answer. Okay, so we can solve this in this particular, and we'll try to optimize it going ahead. Okay, let me try to write down this code. Okay, all right. So first thing that I'll do is I'll create here a set. Inside this set, we are storing unique users who need to understand a language. Okay, who need to learn a language. So here this set is basically I'll name it as, let us suppose I'll name need teaching. I'm not getting any proper names right now. So has set, in this hash set we'll be adding all the peoples who need to know a particular language. Okay, because they are not having any common language. What we will do is we'll iterate through these friendships and friends. Okay, I'll name it as f only, and we have this friendship, right? Let me just get this and paste it right over here. So we have it is in a form of array. Okay, now what we can do is again here we can run a for loop. The first friend knows all the languages, and we can run another for loop that basically tells like the second person knows all the languages. Okay, and we'll check one by one. This will basically take n square. If let us suppose the first person knows n languages, second person knows t languages, so out of them whichever is the maximum, basically let us suppose n is the maximum number, so n cross k is the complexity that we get right at this point in time. But we can avoid that. What we can do is any person that is there, we will create here another set. Okay, let us suppose f1 language. So first person's languages we will put it inside a set. Okay, so that through this set we can avoid that n square complexity right over here, whatever the complexity that we're getting it. So here I have created the set, and I'll go through any particular person's languages. So let us suppose int f1 langs. Okay, f1 let me just name it as f1 languages. Okay, here f1 lang set I'll name, and all the languages this first person knows. Okay, so I have to get it from this f of 0. Okay, from this f of 0. So it is basically from these languages. Okay, so from these languages the first person, okay, f of 0, and we have to subtract -1 because this basically starting from first. So obviously if I want to know first person's language, so I have to get it from the 0th index. Okay, f of 0 -1, all the languages this first person knows, those languages I'll add it into this f1 set. So dot add this f1 lang. Okay, now once we have added it, what we can do is we can run another for loop for int f2 lang. From these languages again, let me just copy this one. The second person is there, right? So f of 1. Okay, f of 1. What we can do is we will check if f2 of this lang, if f2 of this lang is actually available in this f1 lang. Okay, in this set. Okay, if in this set dot contains f2 lang. Okay, if this is basically there, so we will simply make here a flag boolean. Flag is basically false. That means they are initially, we are not clear that if they have common language. Okay, so here the flag is basically set to true, and we will simply break from it. Okay, the moment we get to know that yes, there is a common language between these friends. Okay, if not flag, what we can do is we will add both the users into this set. Okay, need teaching inside here. I'll add both the users. Dot add this f of f1 of 1 minus 1 and add the second person, first person. Okay, both the persons I have added it based on the zero indexing. I'm considering them, so I'm adding them. Okay, my subtracting by one. So we got to know all the users who need to know a language. Okay, in this particular need teaching. So in this set, we have all the users who basically require some learning, a common language learning. Now the idea is we will just try to figure out a common language which is most popular among all the users in this particular need teaching. Okay, all the users that are available in this need teaching, a common language is something what we will try to figure out. So I'll maintain a frequency array. So yeah, I will just again go through this need teaching and we'll check that which language is basically most frequently popular among them. Okay, which is basically used by most of them. Okay, that is something what we have to go get it. So here what I'll do is I'll go through this set and I'll get if person with friends or p something like that, I'll name it. So from this need teaching we'll go, and again what we have to do is again we have to get the languages in lang. From this languages of this f. Okay, and here what we can do is this particular language we have to update into this frequency area. Okay, so that this whatever the frequency of that particular language is there, we will keep on updating it. Now it is clear that this frequency array basically holds all the different languages these users knows. Okay, so mostly accessed language or mostly spoken language is something what we have to figure out among this frequency array. Okay, if we get to know that we can easily teach that particular language to left out users that are there in this particular set. Okay, need teaching in that particular set we can easily teach. Now we just have to figure out the max frequency language. So initially let us point it at 0 int let us suppose lang frequency. From this frequency just update this max frequency with this mat.max between max frequency and this language frequency is what we have to pick. Okay, so whichever is the maximum, the language that is basically used by most of the people, that is something what we have figured out. So let us suppose third language is basically spoken by 4 or 5 person, 4 persons basically speak this third language. Let us suppose that. So now all the other users that are there, let us suppose three remaining users that are there, to the three users we can easily teach that so that we can get minimum answer. So right now here what we have to return is from this need teaching. Okay, all the users that are available in this one. Okay, unique users are available right in this need teaching. We have to subtract this max frequency, that is like maximum language that is known by most of the people available in this need teaching, so that remaining people can learn that particular language. We will get a minimum answer. We can run this one and see if it is working fine or not. Okay, there is a problem with this int is what I have to mention. Okay, array index out of bound. So we are getting these languages. Again, these languages are also we have to subtract one, right? So that is something what we have to do, because these languages are also basically denoting from first index and the array basically starts from zero index. So it is working fine. So let me try to submit this code and see if it is working fine. So talking about the complexity, right? So here this friendship array, let us suppose if we have n friendships, or let us suppose t friendships that are there. So again in this particular for loop, let us suppose we have k languages known by a particular person, and this is also basically k. Okay, maximum k languages a person basically knows. So it is basically t cross t plus t cross t. It's going to be t cross t, and that is something what we got it from here. So t cross t, and going ahead we are again going through these persons. So f cross t is something what we can consider here. So all the way like it is t cross t plus f cross t plus lastly we are just trying to get it plus n is something what we can say, and yeah, that is the complexity. And size is basically all the common users friends that are there, right? So if we have to add all of the friends, that is the need teaching basically been there. That is the size that we are considering. Okay, so yes, we can discuss about this complexity by just breaking them in parts and all. But yes, it is fine, right? So we can write this code in this particular way. Okay, so that's all from this particular one. Thank you for watching this one. Bye bye.